We are in Managua, Nicaragua. Just arrived. It's very hot here. You can see some tanks behind me or something like that. And here is Lake Managua over there. We're about to walk to a cathedral here. This is central. Look at this. It's completely empty. It's kind of wild. You can hear some drum sounds. There's the Nicaragua flag up there. Is a very old chapel that's supposed to be pretty famous. And then this is Palacio Nacional. If you go to pretty much any other countries, like center, you'll see quite a few people kicking around. And I am the only one in this whole square. Quite funny.
Looking back at my time in Nicaragua, I wanted to understand a bit more about why the Centro was empty and what was actually going on in this country. When I first started traveling, I kind of just went places, see and say that I've been there. Now, when I go somewhere, I find the much more interesting part is understanding the history. What happened here? Why did it happen? Who was here? And that makes places that much more interesting. When you go somewhere, don't just go and see it. Although that's fine, it's okay to just go there and take the picture. You look at things in a completely different perspective if you understand a bit before you go. So here we are, Centro Managua, the capital city of Nicaragua, middle of the day. And as you can see, nobody is here. To understand why, you need to go back 40 years, because Nicaragua wasn't really a country back then. It was a family business. The Somoza family ran this place like a personal mafia state. Guns, corruption, and total control. There was 3 generations of them, 4 decades, with an iron grip. Somoza was spectacularly corrupt, even by dictator standards. When a massive earthquake destroyed Managua in 1972, it killed tens of thousands of people. International aid poured in from around the world. Red Cross money, disaster relief, all of it. And Somoza stole it. He just took it. While his own people were sleeping in rubble, he pocketed the donations. That's the caliber of man that was running the country. So in 1979, people had had enough. A guerrilla movement called the Sandinistas launched a revolution. And these were mostly kids, teenagers with rifles. Daniel Ortega would become the face of the whole thing. He was first thrown in prison at 15 years old. And by his early 20s, he was robbing banks to fund the cause. He spent 7 years being tortured in Somoza's jails before being released in a hostage exchange. When the Sandinistas finally won, Somoza fled, but not before allegedly draining the national treasury on his way out. He didn't last long in exile. A few years later, somebody put a bazooka through his Mercedes in Paraguay. Nobody was ever charged, but there are some interesting theories on who ordered that, if you follow my drift. Now, and this is important, the Sandinistas were not the good guys either. From early on, they were censoring the press, confiscating private property, crushing anyone who disagreed. They just happened to replace someone worse. Fast forward a bit, in 1990, Ortega lost the election. He stepped down and spent 15 years trying to claw his way back. Then he won again in 2006. And this time, he had absolutely no intention of leaving. One by one, he dismantled every institution that could challenge him. He packed the courts, rewrote the Constitution to remove term limits, and had himself declared president for life, essentially. Then he made his wife vice president. Her name is Rosario Murillo. She is, let's just say, interesting. She has covered Managua in these enormous, bizarre, psychedelic metal trees that are supposed to symbolize life and energy. When you're walking past them on the streets, and they're all so empty, it's one of the stranger things you'll see. Now here's where it gets properly insane. The Americas were terrified of a revolutionary government, so the CIA started funding a counter-revolutionary group called the Contras to destabilize the country. Congress found out and then banned it. But the Reagan administration did it anyways. They secretly funded the whole operation by illegally selling weapons to Iran behind Congress's back. That became the Iran-Contra scandal. Let that sink in. Illegally sold weapons to Iran to fund a secret war in Nicaragua. In the Contras themselves, these weren't soldiers. They were targeting teachers and nurses, the people the revolution had just sent into the countryside to run literacy programs. Both sides killing civilians, everyone with dirty hands, and ordinary Nicaraguans just stuck in the middle of it. Now here's where it gets dark on a personal level. In 1998, Ortega's own stepdaughter went public and accused him of sexually abusing her for years, starting when she was 11 years old. She gave interviews, she filed legal complaints, but the movement closed ranks. His allies attacked her credibility and nothing happened. No investigation, no consequences, zero. Then, Ortega reinvented himself as a devout Catholic. He hardlined on a lot of issues, and the church played along for a while. This was seen as a way to bring conservatives over to his side. But in 2022, he turned on the church entirely. He had priests arrested, expelled the Vatican's ambassador, and the most beloved bishop in the country, a man named Rolando Alvarez, was thrown in prison, then forced into exile. He used them and discarded them. In 2018, ordinary Nicaraguans finally snapped. The government tried to cut pension benefits. People poured onto the streets. Students, farmers, old people, everyone. The government sent in police and armed civilian gangs who opened fire on the crowds. Some people were live streaming on their phones as they were shot. A lot of it's still on YouTube. Over 300 people killed in a matter of weeks. And then the exodus. Hundreds of thousands left. Professionals, journalists, priests, business owners, anyone with a voice or platform, either on a plane or in a cell. Every independent newspaper shut down, NGOs kicked out, every opposition candidate for the last election was already in jail before voting day. His own family members who spoke out were stripped of their citizenship and exiled. So this is what you're left with. Empty streets, capital city, middle of the day. He started as a revolutionary, became a president, became a dictator, exiled his own family members who spoke out, stripped them of their citizenship, which is ironic because the guy who was tortured in a cell for 7 years is now the guy running the cells. Make of that what you will.
Very hot. I got some wild food. I'll put a picture up of that. This fish. I didn't really like it too much, to be honest. Not my vibe. I'm not a fish guy, not a seafood guy. Yeah, this building's pretty amazing, this cathedral. Like weirdly calm and quiet. I don't know where the real part of the city is. This feels like kind of out there, you know?